don't know how not to sound like a dweeb.
You are a dweeb.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Art Corner, otherwise known as the corner of our house where we store all of our art things. Since Thanksgiving is rapidly approaching, I thought it would be fun to do a neat little mini canvas painting that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to swap out the paintbrush. Hopefully I can make a really, really nice give thanksing picture. Let's crack it open. Crack open a cold one with the artists. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the plan is to start with the pumpkins and then go to the give thanks. When I paint the background, if there are any parts that got out of line or that got a little messy, I can clean those up. May or may not be a good idea. I think one of the most wonderful things and the most terrifying things about any form of art, really, or any form of creation, is just how much of yourself you have to put into it. And by putting yourself into your creation, when you put it out into the world, you leave it vulnerable to the opinions and judgments and criticisms and love from other people, from outside sources. You can't control what kind of reaction you're going to get in the things that you put out into the world. You can't control how people will perceive you and perceive your works, but you can control your works and control what sort of ideas and creations you are putting into the world. One of the things that I know I've had experience with is letting the magnitude of the world and its judgments prevent me from entering into a variety of creative outlets, even just for myself. Oh my goodness, this is already dry. The paint that came with the kit, it's actually not too bad, especially for this texture of the canvas. It is a little watery and dries fairly see-through, but I think that works because I can still see the lines. I don't even have a little cup of water here to rinse off my paintbrushes. I'm a professional. You can see where it's almost like they've put those little dots where a shadow would be. Well, I'm gonna follow that outline and see how that looks, since that's kind of the predestined shadow. That's a good, I don't know if that would be a good name for a book. Copyright that. Why am I holding two paintbrushes? Okay, I don't need both of them. When you're shading an object, you want to use a darker version of that color. That's why I'm using the red here instead of a black or a gray. It makes for a more realistic and more convincing shaded area. I used the red along the lines that separated the different sections of the pumpkins because that gave it a little more depth as well. Oh, no, we'll fix that. That does not look nice. Ooh, that is not the color. Nope, that is not correct. So I have pretty much all of the components done except for the background. What I want is a fairly neutral color that will make a nice background, blend in pretty well, but still give me enough pigment to kind of clean up some of the edges of the lines. Okay, I think we're gonna go with cream. It's hard to tell what it looks like against the white of the background, but in the shot, I think in the frame. But I think that will be perfectly neutral. I did that little corner there. Yeah, this was not my brightest idea. Absolutely do the background color first so that it's not as finicky having to paint around all of the small corners and edges. I thought it would be easier doing it the way that I did it, but it was not. Would have liked. Oh no. The background is a little splotchier or a little streakier than I would have liked, but I think it gives it a nice vintage feel almost, as though it's kind of faded in parts and not in others. I think this is such a fun little thing to do. I got this one from Dollar Tree, and I think you can do it with just the paints that are there, and even with the brush. The brush is not too bad. Hello, it's Editing Michaela. I just had to pop in and say really quickly, like I said, the brush was not bad, but it splayed out a little too much to really be able to do the fine details like the lettering and then the vines on the pumpkins, but still perfectly usable. The only paint that I added from my collection was the black for the lettering. The canvas and its texture worked really well with the paints that they included. Shocker. I think it's a really, really good project for anyone that's starting to get into painting or just wants a fun little low stress and easily accessible, cheap project to do. I think it can be considered art. If you are interested, I got mine at Dollar Tree. They typically have a lot of options. This is not sponsored by Dollar Tree. And anyway, I mean, if they're interested, we can talk. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Art Corner, otherwise known as the corner of our house where we store all of our art things. Yes, thank you for that.